Piss poor showing. Just piss poor showing. You got excited after Alabama. You handled the two bad opponents as well as you could handle two bad opponents. And then when you lost the Virginia game, you lost everything. And I said it at the time. I'm not backing off of it. Season is pointless at this point. There's nothing to play for whatsoever. You had to beat Virginia. And now you play Miami. You do a few things, but you turn the ball over 3 times. You give up big plays in the pass game. You let them get way out ahead, and you can't chase them down. Just piss poor. And that was the season. Now you're 2 conference losses in. You're not getting to the ACC title game. You're not getting in the playoff. You're just out there running around getting cardio for the next 7 weeks.
Yeah, college football, man. But from our standpoint, we're in Florida. So let's do some Florida State, Miami, and the Gators. Of course, we had the big game. We previewed last week. The game happened. Florida State and Miami. Okay. Give me something.
Didn't make it to the end of the game.
No?
Shut it down, went to bed.
At what point?
Third quarter.
Because Miami kind of took their foot off all the way, and Florida State kind of,
I wasn't there for that.
Wasn't there for that?
No, I was out in the third quarter. Piss poor showing. Just piss poor showing. You got excited after Alabama. You handled the two bad opponents as well as you could handle two bad opponents. And then when you lost the Virginia game, you lost everything. And I said it at the time. I'm not backing off of it. Season is pointless at this point. There's nothing to play for whatsoever. You had to beat Virginia. And now you play Miami. You do a few things, but you turn the ball over 3 times. You give up big plays in the pass game. You let them get way out ahead, and you can't chase them down. Just piss poor. And that was the season. Now you're 2 conference losses in. You're not getting to the ACC title game. You're not getting in the playoff. You're just out there running around getting cardio for the next 7 weeks.
I didn't like the kid who went into the end zone and did the sleepy thing. It's over. Like, that was silly.
Well, I didn't even see that. But.
Yeah, you probably were going to bed by that time. I didn't like that. But I did think Florida State, I guess because I had put up a post because I like fucking with the, the Floridian Florida State fans, not real Florida State fans like alumni and stuff. And, because I had said that.
Did you include like something in your post that says who it's directed?
No.
I haven't noticed that.
But I did say that, I said that Florida State had laid down because that is what it appeared. Like you said, early third, you're like, oh, this is over. Like, these guys are not even like trying anymore.
You're not competing.
They're not competing anymore. And I said that. And, but then, Miami takes their foot off the gas and almost like, real late, it's like, oh, can this become a game? Yeah. But like you said, they were just out too far ahead. And but at that point, Florida State were trying to clean up some things, but the turnovers, man. But is Miami defense that good?
Here's are you familiar with Josh Pate?
No.
He's a pretty big like college football commentator guy. I see him on TikTok a lot.
Okay. So I know I've seen that.
His take coming out of the weekend was like, I watched Texas, Ohio State play. I've watched, most of the big teams play. And he goes, I have not seen anybody look like Miami. He goes, Miami's got like, aliens on their team. They look bigger and stronger and faster than any other team. That's his take. I know he watches a ton of college football.
Yeah.
He did throw in the Kevin. I'm not telling you they're going to win the national title. I'm not telling you they're going to definitely win the ACC. But, like, I've seen most of the bigger teams play in college football, like, that are supposed to be the guys. And this Miami team looks the part. They look like the best one from that perspective, It is freakish that your 2 defensive ends are your leading tacklers.
Yeah.
That's just not something that happens.
No.
That's crazy. Defensively they were very strong. Offensively they capitalized. They made the big plays when they needed to. But if we kind of wind this all the way back, they needed a late drive to beat Notre Dame. They got it, to their credit. Florida, after a really rough first half, made a push and were kind of in that game, and then shit down their leg. We made mistakes early and put ourselves behind the 8 ball, but made a late run. If you're looking at Miami, they've won all the games, and they have a lot of talented people on the team, but they haven't put forth like that just crushingly consistent 4-quarter game. There's always been lapses where the other, decent teams that they've played have, been able to make the game close or be competitive. They haven't, been one of those teams that just slaughters a solid team beginning to end.
There's something to that. I think there's something to that. It's a good point. I think there's something to that, and that could be a part of the coaching philosophy there, and whatever. He's just a little too lazy. I don't want to say lazy, but he just lets his foot off the gas. What's the word I'm looking for? There is a word. He's
complacent.
Yeah, complacent is a good word. Complacent is a good word to use there.
Yeah.
And you go in prevent defense. You go, run, and punt and whatever. And that's just what the games look like in the fourth quarter for Miami. I how sustainable is the heavily recruit the defensive line and receivers and this and that, and then we go out and find the journeyman quarterback, because that seems to be their that seems to be their model right now.
Yeah, as long as you get the right guy. That's and so far I'm not a big Carson Beck guy. I don't think he's great.
Yeah.
But he's been enough.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is that out there every year? Like, I guess so, with the transfer portal and the thing way it is now.
Yeah,
I guess it's out there.
It goes to again, what do you? They've kind of nailed it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And that again, what are they doing different? What's going on? They're obviously paying a lot of money. We got outbid for Cam Ward last year.
Yeah.
We've heard some numbers attached to Carson Beck's name,
which is even more than Cam.
That are pretty spectacular. So, they're pouring the money into that position, and so far twice they've got the right guy.
Because this is Beck's last year.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I thought he played
so they're
at least
3
years at Georgia.
They're going to be right back at it next year, looking for the next guy, and they're going
I think Bain will be in the draft, the one defensive end. I think.
Yeah. But just speaking from a quarterback perspective, because everybody else they I ain't gonna say everybody else, but pretty much they grow in house with recruiting and things like that.
Bain and Corley, the receiver, who's making some good plays. Although I think the second receiver, Seven, who made the big plays. He's a transfer guy, I believe.
Yeah, and he has that name that's sounds familiar, but he's not related to Tony, the Tony kid. Is that who?
He's the young one. He's the guy they drafted.
Yeah, recruited. Yeah, freshman.
No, it's the other one. He's number 7.
Okay.
Corley's like 10.
Okay.
Yeah, he almost looks like a little bit of a Tyreek Hill. Like he's a shorter guy, very quick.
Because I thought he would have been related to Kadarius Toney, but he's not.
He's
not.
Yeah. But then you've got the other guy, and his name escapes me, but he's been really good. He had the big one-handed catch in I think the Notre Dame game.
That was sick.
And he had another touchdown against us. So I think he's a recruiting guy. I just don't. I think that the reality is you and one of the big FSU takeaways was we've lost the high school recruiting battles to Miami. Apparently, we were in on Bain at one point. We're in on one of the other defensive players that did really well for. We're in on a couple guys and lose to Miami in that, and then they're saying, well, that's the difference in the game. Those guys are good. You're not going to win all the battles, but it's just building a roster year to year. That's where we are. You've got to hit on whatever it is that you're doing. You just have to get the right players.
Is there any chance you get to the end of the season and whatever, you guys got 2 losses now, say you've lost 4 games, modest 3 to 4 games. Is there any way you get to the end of the season you say, well, it was a lot better than the last season? No. Because of the way you guys started.
Because you had again, you can't. Yeah, I mean, you want to compete and contend every year. You want to do that. But every team in modern college football is going to be a 1-year cycle. There's always we're always going to have significant change because of the portal.
You're on a year-to-year.
And so this is the year. This is this team's year, and you've shit the bed, and you had so many things. Like you were disciplined against Alabama. You were physical. You made the 4th and inches stops multiple times. You did everything a good team should do. And then since Virginia, you've been a mistake-prone, turnover-prone team that can't make the plays that win games, that don't win the physical battle. That's what you are.
Yeah.
And again, why, like the single season concept. You win 3 straight games. Miami's been very good, but when you look at the schedule, if you're a contending team, Virginia's not a game. It's not a game. Clemson's having serious issues. Florida's having like by week 3, this thing's set up really nice for you to make a run.
Yeah.
And you've now thrown that away in 2 games.
Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck what you do the rest of the way.
Yeah. Because if you beat Virginia and even if you lose to Miami,
you have a chance to get back.
You still have a chance to get back. Because the Alabama loss, the Alabama win would look so much better because they appear to be a good team.
But you got to realize, and I know you've bashed the ACC. The reality of the ACC is this: there's never going to be more than 2 teams in the playoff. So by definition, you have to get in the championship game. And if you don't lose to Virginia, you have the same outcome last week that you did. You win out. There's likely just a rematch with Miami for the ACC title. And even if you lose it good, you might still back into the playoff.
Yeah, because they expanded the
But if you win it, you're in. And
100%.
That's just the thing. And so the Virginia loss was just the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
And it's just college football is not forgiving.
Yeah.
I mean, again, now with the 12-team playoff, teams with 2 losses or this or that can still potentially get in, but so much is now out of your hands.
Yeah. So much has to happen now.
Yeah.
It's not in your control.
Yeah.